In this video we're going to start talking about the Unreal Editor. So one of the main areas of the Unreal Editor is the Level Editor toolbar. Now you see you have lots of different UI elements and windows and panels and stuff, but let's talk about this top toolbar right up here. So of course you've got the typical save button. You've also got a button that opens up the content browser, which you can see over here in the content browser window, the bottom left part of the UI. We've also got the marketplace. We've also got some quick settings that we can look at here to change the way we see things. We've also got our world settings, which will pop up here docked next to the details tab. And we've got options for changing things like light mass, maybe changing the game mode, different sort of little details like that. So I'll close that out. Then we've also got the blueprint button over here, so you can open up blueprints that are in your level. So if you have any sub-levels, like in this example map from the shooter game project, we can open up those blueprints. We can also access matinees. So if we got a whole bunch of matinees in the level, we can open those up. We also have the ability to build. So if we want to build lighting, say we made some lighting changes, we need to build lighting to see the results, or just to finish packaging up our final game. We can also build geometry, different things like that. And then we have the simulate button and the play button. These are pretty important. When working on your game, you're going to want to test things. And one of the ways you test things is using either the simulate or the play button. So let me show you what simulate does. So you can see we have an item here that our viewport is centered on. If I click on simulate, we'll see that we actually activate logic and code and stuff like that in the game. So by simulating the scene, we can see that this object now spawns an ammo pickup for the player. And if we select it, we can see that we have access to a whole bunch of different properties and things through the details panel. And we can see that it's slowly rotating, moving around, doing a little animation. So if I hit the pause button, you can see that the item stays, so it doesn't go away. Everything's still loaded in and active, but the world is basically paused. If I hit resume, we can go ahead and pick this up again. If I hit stop, the whole simulation is ended. So that could be pretty useful. Now under play, we have a few different options here. We can play a selected viewport, which is pretty common to do. We can also play in a new editor window, which I typically don't do too much. I usually select the option to play inside of the viewport. So you can see that now I can jump in the game. The code starts to get executed, blueprints, all that stuff, and I can actually run around the game. In this case, since it's the shooter example game, I've got a gun, I can shoot it, reload it, all that cool stuff. So pretty neat. We can also pull out of this view in case you have to like with the UI again. To do that, just hit Shift and the F1 key and you'll regain mouse control over the UI. So you can see now I can work on things, maybe try moving something around, or maybe I have to do something inside the content browser or something like that. And then I can hit resume. And I can even hit this eject button, which allows me to pull out of the player pawn, which is basically the player character. And I can now zoom around and rotate my camera around in the viewport, and I can see my actual player. And if I hit pause, you'll notice that his idle animation stopped, so the character's frozen in place. Anything that's being simulated in the play mode is frozen in place. I can select objects. I can check out the properties in the details panel. So for example here I can see that I have access to the health of the character, stuff like that. All kinds of cool things that you can tweak. You can also hit this frame skip button. Every time you hit it, it'll skip a frame ahead and then pause. So you can see as I click it, little by little, my character starts to move around frame by frame. So it's almost like video on a camcorder or something like that. And then I can hit the possess button and my character will now, or I'll take control of my character. And if I hit resume, you just jump back into the game and run around just like I was before. And then I can hit escape to get out of the play mode.